Okay? So in order to have really disruptive innovation coming with completely new ideas to the market, you really need to have this kind of research, which is exploratory research, where researchers are unencumbered by the product roadmap and they can explore freely, as long as they are within the remits and within the strategy of the business. So again, they're like fundamental research, they are driven by curiosity, imperative to explore. Unlike fundamental research, they have to be guided by the business strategy. Okay. The challenge, the big challenge, especially for key stakeholders and leadership in these kinds of companies, is that work in this domain is by definition plagued with a very high degree of uncertainty, which means it's really hard to predict or to express in any quantifiable manner what will be achievable and when it will be achieved, and really to get some quantitative measure of progress. And I know that for usually for senior levels of leadership, that can be quite frustrating if you don't have a number. You usually say, okay, just give me a number. Are you 30% done, 90% done? It's really, really tricky to squeeze this kind of research progress down to a number. Having said that, probably what I feel so far in my experience is that the best way to report this is in a quantitative manner and presenting the breadth of options that the team is exploring and giving some notion on we explored this path, this path, this path. This didn't go anywhere. We're exploring these ones next. There is also this goals in exploratory research are highly subject to change. So as the research is being done, you can suddenly realize that actually this is not what we should be researching on. We should be researching another theme, which again can be quite frustrating for our senior leadership, but this is really how we get to completely new ideas. Because this is very research intensive, typically there's very little need for any engineering or product involvement, perhaps a little bit of engineering when very, very quick back of the envelope prototype needs to be put together. But even that, perhaps most AI researchers will be able to do that by themselves. And that also means that the ways of working when our researchers are working in this mode need necessarily to be very different. So they will hardly have something new to report on daily stand-ups. That won't happen. Even on weekly meetings, who knows? Perhaps every other week, probably more likely that they have something to report on. So the ways of working have to be adapted to what the stage they're working on right now. When they move to applied research is when they've explored a bunch of options that we could use new technologies for example, and now making that concrete to a particular business problem, present business problem. And yes, now we have product roadmap guidance. So the product function should come in and say, okay, now let's take these ideas that you guys explored and could we use that for addressing this problem or that problem? So the conundrum here is realizing that it's not the research function does exploratory research and nothing else, or does prototyping research and nothing else, or just builds products and nothing else. Is you'll probably get the most of your AI function, however you want to call it, data science, machine learning, AI research, if you allow them this space for this fluidity and changing working modes. And that is a challenge in of itself, because AI researchers need to be aware of this, engineers need to be aware of this, product people need to be aware of this, product managers. And so everyone needs to be aware of these changing ways of working and becoming comfortable with that. To make things a little bit more complex in research, precisely because there's a lot of uncertainty in what we'll be building or what we'll be discovering. And because it's going to an uncharted territory, we never know. Ideally, we'd go linearly from exploratory research to apply to prototyping research. Yes, good luck with that. That hardly ever happens. What is the most likely scenario is that we explore certain technologies, find one or two more curious and perhaps more applicable to our day-to-day business problems, moving to applied research, and actually stumble upon some problem, need to go back to exploratory research, and then progress to applied research again, and then double down on one of these ideas to start building a prototype, and actually realize that the other idea was even better, or there's a technical problem, need to go back. So it's everything but a linear process.